Hi Taurus, this is your March 2016 horoscope with me, Lada from Astrolada.com, and just want to tell you, in case you don't know very well English, I have a Spanish version of the website. A friend of mine translated it in Spanish. You can visit that website. It's again Astrolada, but with the abbreviation for Spain after that. And my new my Astrolada.com website is also renewed, and in a few days it will go live. It's totally new, it's much easier, more modern, full of new information. So hopefully you enjoy that new website. You are welcome to give me ideas what you'd like to see more on the new website, whether videos, psychics, articles, whatever it is, or free readings. Anyway, what does March bring for Tauruses? Well, it's eclipse season, and eclipse season always puts focus in those houses where the eclipses happen. The eclipse does not directly impact those eclipses, those two eclipses, solar and lunar in March, do not directly impact Taurus, but they will impact certain houses for Taurus this year. And eclipse, you can feel it a month before, a month or two before, and then 6 months after the eclipse. So it's not just like this theme will not be active only in March. You can continue seeing manifestation of what I'm talking about over the next 6 months after that. And the solar eclipse is happening in your 11th house, Taurus. And the solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. This is when the sun and the moon come together. And not only that, but they come so so close. Usually sometimes when they come together on a new moon, they might pass like that. They don't pass exactly in front of each other. And this is what a solar eclipse is, when they're exactly on top of each other. This is when female and male energies join together and give birth to something new. And this birth of something new is happening in your 11th house, Taurus. So whether it's your ascendant in Taurus, your moon or sun, you can feel it to different extent. And the 11th house, the house of, first of all, social recognition, social circle, your peers. So you might realize that it's time, and it's probably been happening for a while. It's been brewing, but maybe you just didn't have the push to act in that direction, but you probably felt like you have to do a cleanse of your social circle, that you have to start fresh, maybe to start having new social environment, maybe to become member of new groups, to start going maybe to lectures where like-minded people go, and this impulse will come gradually for you. Even if you don't feel it now, believe me, over the next 6 months you'll start feeling it. And by the end of 2016, you'd find yourself that you've created a new social environment for yourself. Maybe you gained a new friend. Maybe you've let go of old friends or old social interests and environments which are no longer productive for you, which are just holding you back, which are lost their luster for you or their beneficialness for you. And these new beginnings, first of all, in order to have new beginning, it entails letting go of something. To make space for something, you let go of something. That's why often people experience eclipse time as some kind of a crisis time, but they're not aware at the moment of happening that this is actually opening path for so much better things for them. So there might be some reversal or change in your friendships, your social environment, your social circle with colleagues or anyone, where you're in social environments with people. But in the long run, this will make space for new such environments, new social recognition as well. 11th house also rules receiving titles and honors. So it can, whether it's a PhD, whether it's some prefix to your name, or whether it's getting a bonus for job well done. This is the awards sector, the 11th house. So this is also our long-term goals and dreams and wishes, because what is dreams and wishes? Everyone wants to achieve some goal, to receive some recognition from society. This is goals. What else is goals? Goals is to be gainful, which is 11th house again, and to be recognized by our social circle, or to be recognized by society on the whole, whether it's through awards, through titles, honors, through bonus of some sort, through more gains. This is making more money. It's a recognition of your validity in a sense, from others. So such kind of new inspirations are starting to come into you with this trigger. Such kind of new long-term goals are getting brewed now, and it might take maybe a year, to start fulfilling them, but now is the trigger point. And what can happen though, you might have to let go of a certain long-term dream or goal, which is not effective, which is not first, in order to make space for this new thing. And for this new goal, long-term goal and dream that you can fulfill. And when we change our goals and dreams, our whole social circle changes as well. If you wanted to, for example, be accepted in a rich golf club, country club, you'd behave and act and socialize with, if this is your dream, to be recognized or whatever, in such kind of environment, you'd have one type of friends. But if your goal shifts, and you want to become spiritual leader all of a sudden, your whole social circle will also change. You're no longer going to be with the, whoever. But anyway, you're getting my shift, you're getting my point, I hope, that it's these long-term goals are shifting. You're letting go of some old, such kind of desires, long-term goals and dreams, and it might be a bit disappointing, disheartening. It might be that you always thought that you want to have a PhD, and now you realize that actually you want to learn in the school of life or hard knocks, so that you want to all of a sudden become a business investor, so you don't want a PhD to be academic of some sort. So there is this redirection of big goals in your life that can happen gradually or suddenly sometimes. Okay. So some people can go out of your life, but new ones can come as well. And you can come up with new ideas for gainfulness, long-term new ideas for gainfulness as well, and recognition. Okay, so where is the other eclipse then? The other eclipse is the lunar eclipse, and it's happening in your 6th house, Taurus. So if this is your ascendant, your 6th house is here. And the lunar eclipse, has a bit different energy. While the solar eclipse is about new beginnings, cleansing the old and making space for new ideas come up, new opportunities. The lunar eclipse is a full moon on steroids. This is when, the moon is bright and it gets covered partially or fully by the sun, and it looks like it's bloody. So the feelings become very intense there. One becomes extremely emotional in that area of their life. And they have emotional realizations. One becomes extremely aware of their needs in that house, of their emotional needs. And in particular, the 6th house is your work environment, is your service that you do. Even if you're self-employed, this is the service, the daily routines and work that you do, the service that you give to humanity, whatever. If you're working for someone, this is your place of employment, this is your the routines and responsibilities and duties that you have at work. And so you might get some kind of a stronger realization of what your emotional needs in that are, in such areas. And you might realize that possibly maybe something, and it's emotional realization, it's intuitive realization, that possibly you might need to change something in regards to how you work, in your working or daily routines. These are also your health routines. How do you take care of your health? What do you do to stay fit? What do you do not to feel sick? What foods do you eat? What nutrition? What exercise do you take? How do you maintain your health overall? So you can have some powerful realization, almost like eureka moments, or they can be combined with emotional realizations. For example, when I had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse in my 6th house, I think it was a year or something ago, I became extremely emotional about I didn't have much order around me. 6th house also rules order, so I got to organize everything, to try to make everything much more ordered, much more clear, much more systematic, so I don't lose time in the working process. I became overly emotional. I cried even over that. I was stressed with myself. But it led me to make a change and to complete it, which was great. And I was also feeling quite bad about my health habits. I don't think I really actually changed something then, but I just I cried a lot, being angry with myself. But for other people, it can be, for you Taurus, for quite a few Taurus, this kind of inner intense realization can bring you to take actions in that direction. And because full moon is about, basically a lunar eclipse is a full moon, it's about expressing something out. And acting on it. So acting on all those 6th house things, work environment, whether it's toxic or not, you can cleanse it. If your emotions have been overflowing at work or with colleagues, you can fix something. You can, through reversal, through some crisis, through some change as well. Or if you're unhappy about your health, you can, because say you've been looking at your hips and hating them and getting overly emotional about that, you can finally decide to do something about it. Because full moon lunar eclipse is expression, outer expression in a sense. And so about organization or the work, health, this kind of stuff, the lunar eclipse in Aries can trigger for you to be more aware, more intuitive. And also, what does the 6th house rule? I think we mentioned, I think we said most of the things that 6th house, this lunar eclipse in the 6th, it's about completing also something. Seeing results, bringing something to fruition. And again, it's not only in March. It can take a few months after that for you to see it. And it's been happening already because there was eclipse before that last year around your 6th house. So what I'm saying, that maybe something that you started in regards to your health already, in regards to order, routine, taking care of your physical body, in regards to work, you can finally start seeing now the fruition, the results of that thing with this lunar eclipse there. And you'll see the results relevant to the efforts that you've put. Maybe you've been on a diet, maybe, for the past 6 months, or maybe you've been having a different approach to your work, or maybe you've been looking for job and employment, and now your hard efforts can finally bear fruit with this full lunar eclipse. Okay, let's see what else is happening. There is a huge activation of your 11th house. Again, as I said, you might be more socially active in March. Specifically now, there is the Moon, Sun, Venus, Mercury, that transit day in March. And except the solar eclipse that we talked about, your 11th house, how March can develop is basically you being more active with an initiative, in social circle, in environments, in going after your goals, in communicating with others of some sort, in maybe even attracting a sort of benefactor, because 11th house rules benefactors, people that are like all the siblings that like us, that want to help us. There is activity there, definitely something shifting or working hard towards achievement of some goal or title or recognition or bonus of a sort. And you become more popular when planets trigger your 11th house. You're more out in the public eye. Okay, but there is also a powerful activation of other planets in your horoscope, Taurus, of your 8th house and of your 5th house as well. So these are all fixed houses that are being triggered by Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, and the Sun. They are basically, the planets in March will be in almost like in 90 degrees from each other, like a square, we call it, like a triangle, 90-degree triangle, which is a tight aspect. So it can create a definite activation of those fixed houses in your horoscope, which often are connected about resources. The fixed houses are resources. So there is in March a focus on resources and finances, whether these are mutual finances with another, whether these are taxes, whether these are inheritances of sort, whether these are bank accounts of sort, whether it's doing money or finances or possessions, mutual or personal or business, gainfulness, as we said, 11th house. And so there is definitely the need to, there might be some stressful situation because the planets are in stressful aspect, but at the same time, it's a time to consolidate, to pay attention to such kind of more, the resources in your life, psychological, emotional, financial as well. And it's not exactly time of where you have to make huge, big changes in that, particularly in respect to those, matters, those fixed houses. because fixed houses are about keeping the status quo and carrying on working on some direction that you've started already, and carrying on trying to maintain, to strengthen it, to stabilize such resources in such areas of life. And even though there might be tension, again, as I said, there is a tense activation, at the same time it is, it will allow longevity. So that's interesting, and it's not the end. March is a tumultuous month with the eclipses. Always when there is eclipses, people feel more anxious, more worried, and when there is a grand square in the T-square in the skies, when the planets are on angular positions from each other, there is more need for more tension as well, and especially in regards to those themes that I mentioned. But this can be productive for you financially in the long term, or in regards to resources. Maybe you can scout out resources that are more stable, more enduring, in a sense, stabilize them. Okay, so that's overall how I see things happening for you, Taurus. Let's see, where is Jupiter in March? It's from 15 till 20 degrees. So it means that those Tauruses who are born, they'll have Jupiter trine, which is good. Opportunities are coming to them. Things will flow easily. So if you have your Taurus ascendant or moon from 15 till 20 degrees in Taurus, opportunities are coming, be open. Something that you probably started working on now can start paying results, giving results, or maybe can even help you expand more. Have to go over it, or opportunity that came to you before can come back again. Or basically, if you are born Taurus with the sun on those days from around the 5th to around the 11th, 12th of May, those things that I talked about, opportunities for expansion, for career, for personal life matters, Jupiter can bring opportunities in a lot of different ways. It very much depends on your specific birth horoscope. I cannot speak generally for Taurus, but if you're born around those days that I mentioned, usually the sun is career, help from male figures, increase confidence, increase optimism, which attracts opportunities, or opportunities coming back to you again, because Jupiter is retrograde, which means something that you probably considered as an opportunity now comes back and can be fulfilled better. So thank you very much, Taurus. Subscribe to my website, write to me at astrolada.com, visit the new Astrolada, the Spanish version. I'll put the name exactly, and I'll see you next month.